Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another video. I found this article the other day and, well, I guess we need to talk about it. I'm a little bit late to actually making a video about this one because there were more pressing things that needed to be addressed, but I'm coming back to it today because it still is very, very important. So, as we know, when there are different wars going on in the world, there's a lot of propaganda, right? Happened in World War One, World War Two, gets people to actually do things they never thought what they would actually do. So how do we trust what the mainstream media, well, we can't really trust the mainstream media at all, but how do we trust what's going on in the world? I mean, there's a lot of different viewpoints that are reporting or sharing their personal experiences in regards to what's actually taking place today. Now, the thing that we've got today that we didn't have back in World War II is social media. And social media is running rife. So you've got a lot of viewpoints being shared all at once. So how do you know which one is true and which one's accurate? You got to fact check things a little bit more. Now, the New York Post decided to put out this article, and I don't know how truthful this particular study is, and maybe it may get me in trouble for making this kind of video, but nevertheless, I don't know whether or not the numbers reported from the Palestinian side or even Israel's side on the amount of people that have been killed are true and accurate, because obviously you've got the Palestinians that want to portray it as a particular number that seems gross enough to make Israel look like the bad people, and Israel would want to keep the numbers low enough to make them look out to be like the saints. So who do you really trust in this kind of equation, right? But nevertheless, we're going to look at this anyway and see what they have to say. So the Gaza death toll inflated to promote anti-Israel narrative, study finds. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't really been across many of the death toll counts in regards to the Ukraine and Russia war. But this seems to get the attention of so many people because you know why? It promotes that heavily anti-Israel narrative. And obviously, this anti-Israel narrative in today's society gets a lot of attention because for some reason, so many people are against Israel. And that amazes me. It really does. They're saying that Israel is committing some sort of genocide and everything alike. Now, I don't want there to be any kind of war at all, but I personally do not believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe in my heart of hearts that Israel wants to just kill thousands of innocent kids. I don't believe that they want to do that because a lot of the people that are going in and trying to find all the T-word people and trying to take them out, obviously they're trying to have as little casualties as they possibly can. It's not going to be easy, but there are casualties of war. We don't want any casualties of war, but we still get them all the same. Anyway, civilian death counts in the Israel-Hamas war have been inflated and distorted to portray Israel as deliberately targeting innocent civilians, a new study found. A report from the UK-based Henry Jackson Society found that news outlets failed to distinguish between civilian and combatant casualties and relied on manipulated statistics from the Hamas-run health ministry when reporting on the war. See, that kind of stuff, this is the UK, right? And it's Henry Jackson Society. I don't know too much about Henry Jackson Society. I don't know if it's Israel affiliated or not, but nevertheless, I think they're right about the news organizations. A lot of the mainstream media organizations are promoting a heavily anti-Israel bias. If you haven't already checked, it's evident and clear as day. If the mainstream media is left-leaning, they're going to have a more Hamas pro bent, believe it or not. It is quite sickening to actually see. Even recently, when a terrorist plowed in to Christians at a Christmas festival in Germany, you know what the mainstream media put? Instead of the truth, they put a car plowed into people, not a terrorist plowed into people with a car. No, the car apparently killed all those innocent people. See what I mean? You can't necessarily trust anything the mainstream media says anymore, especially the headlines. So you've got to question. And I even encourage you guys to question me. Like, I make sure as best as I possibly can to get the facts of everything, right? Yes, I look at mainstream media sources to get the basis of facts, but I also go to other trusted sources as well. You know, that's what I was taught growing up in school. You got to look for the right sources and find the truth. And obviously, you may not know the actual truth, right? With this particular case, it's hard to tell. We may never know the actual numbers of how many people were killed or not killed, you know? Anyway, Gaza officials claim more than 44,700 people have been killed following the October 7 terrorist attacks on Israel, but does not acknowledge that upwards of 17,000 were Hamas terrorists, a fact that the media often omits. The study found, citing Israeli and U.S. military intelligence reports for its data. The questionable counting study, published on Saturday, charged that the ministry overstated casualty data by including natural deaths and over-reporting the numbers of women and children killed. If you want to create a particular narrative to propagandize and make a certain side look like they're the devil, do that. Men were included on lists of women killed in the conflict, while adults were included on counts of child deaths, researchers found, which I think is actually really disgusting. Like, why don't you want to tell the truth? Is it something in our society today that the bent now is just, oh, I'm going to lie through skin of my teeth because lying somehow gets me what I want? This misclassification contributes to the narrative that civilian populations, particularly women and children, bear the brunt of the conflict, potentially influencing sentiment and media coverage, said Andrew Fox, the study's author. Around 5,000 natural deaths appear to have been added to the list of casualties, including cancer patients who later appeared on lists of those still receiving treatment, researchers said. The errors, big-time errors, have led to a narrative where the Israel Defense Forces are portrayed as disproportionately targeting civilians, the report states. And then you've got a lot of these dingbat protesters that are like, Israel is committing a genocide and all that other stuff that goes along with it. The investigation looked at all articles with Gaza fatality statistics published from February through to May 2024 across 8 major outlets. Obviously, the main players: CNN, BBC News, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Guardian, Associated Press, Reuters, and the Australian ABC. All major left-leaning outlets. And it does not surprise me at all, in the slightest, that the numbers were fudged to suit a particular narrative that is going around that is anti-Israel, anti-Jew. Is it any wonder that we've got all these attacks on Christians that actually, because they support Israel? You got any of these other crazy dingbats that are running around and committing all these atrocities, firebombing synagogues and the like? Is it any wonder that we've got these crazy people that are doing that? And Jews around the world are fearing for their life? Mainstream media is not the friend of people. Let me just make that perfectly clear. They've got a particular bias, and that bias is anti-Israel. Same with Candace Owens, same with Dan Bilzerian, same with Nick Fuentes. Loads of these people, anti-Israel. Why? I don't know. It's amazing to me. Really is. But anyway, thanks all of you for watching. I hope you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.